All right, so I'm going to show you how conceptually easy it is to deploy this voice in a really meaningful production grade way. It's super simple, just a few workflows, and I'll release this in a snapshot. And as you can see, even when there is booked appointments, we get a little bit of analytics on the back half of this, which is the number of calls it took to get the booked appointment, the accumulated time for the booking of the appointment, and the cost per booked appointment, which you can take this and put in an Excel spreadsheet, and you can expand on this, which I'll probably do before I actually put the snapshot out. But if you don't feel like waiting for me to put the snapshot out, I'll show you how it works. Okay. So let's go to automation, go to call deployment, and I'll just be in here. So I have 4 workflows here, right? So conceptually, I know a lot of people really want to get in the weeds with a lot of this stuff, and I always say keep it as simple as possible. And with this, it's kind of as simple as possible. I mean, it's 4 workflows to kind of really do all of it. And so conceptually what we have here is we have our campaign, right? Which this right here, the way I've built this is almost very function based, right? So this is reusable for any campaign that we may have. I'll show you a few examples perhaps in the next video, but this conceptually I'll show you how that works here. Basically means you can take any campaign and all of these workflows still work perfectly. All right. So we have our campaign, whatever it may be. This may be Facebook ads, this may be cold outreach, this may be whatever we're doing, right? This is our campaign, a conceptual campaign here that's just saying, hey, we're dripping, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, you'd have your SMS, email, whatever. But on this one, we're just making a call. And so on this one, you're like, well, why don't I have the make AI call right here? Well, I want to do a little error handling, and I also want to play by GoHighLevel's rules of one contact can't be in the same workflow at the same time twice, right? And so I don't want to spam calls to one person, and I can take advantage of GoHighLevel's rules, and I can take advantage of this system here, right, to make sure that I don't ever double call leads that don't need to be double called, any errors that need to be taken care of or taken care of before that contact gets continued to be reached out to, right? And so any campaign you do, this just change the campaign, right? The only thing you have to do is tag make AI call. That initiates all of the call stuff to follow. Once make AI call has been tagged, then we come over here to the call workflow. So this is just saying, hey, whenever a contact's been tagged, make AI call, and this is done either in any campaign that we've ran, or maybe I tag someone manually here, make AI call because someone asked for me to call them, right? So we're going to do a couple things here. So we're going to make an AI call. We have our assistant ID and a custom value just for the campaign that we're running right now. But I also have a couple custom variables here. I don't think these are taken advantage enough, and I'm going to show you how powerful these things are, right? When it comes to deploying this, because my assistant has no prompt, but it can remember everything that's been said, so it's contextually very informative, and this works on both inbound and outbound. And so I have a couple custom variables here. I'll show you how I put those together. And then I just have some error handling. So if my call here returns an error, I just have an internal notification going out to the team saying, hey, I attempted to call this number here and it resulted in the following error. You can also do, I'll probably add this in the snapshot too. You can add a direct link to the contact inside of GoHighLevel. So someone can just click on it. It takes them right to GoHighLevel, makes it super, super easy to take a look at what's going on. But right now, just a very simple, hey, this phone number resulted in this error, which comes off of the make AI call. Now, if it didn't result in an error, right, so the call went through, I'm going to update the call ID on this last call ID here. I'm going to show you I have a couple custom fields that make this thing churn like butter. So I update my call ID. I update, always good for compliance and everything, how many times I've called this person via AI. So I have an AI call counter, and I'm adding one here because I've called them one time. And then now that I have a successful call pending, right, I'm going to remove my make AI call tag. Now this may move. I actually may move this on the post call webhook, but now that my call has successfully gone through, I'm removing that tag, which allows the contact to be added back in to the call workflow later in the campaign. Makes it super dynamic, right? It's when you think of workflows, a lot of people do all of their workflow in one giant workflow. Not scalable. If something breaks, how the hell do you find it? It's not fun. And so you'll notice a lot of things that I do in workflows, and it works kind of how code works, where you take functionality and you move it to one specific workflow, and you just call that functionality when you need it. That's how a function works in code. That's why code tends to be so scalable. Is you build it this one time, you make it dynamic, right? And then we can just call this as many times as we need for whatever situation that we're in. So I just thought I'd make a note of that real quick. All right, so we have our campaign, which goes to a call, which either will error or will not error. And if it doesn't error, call goes through. Guess what? We got a post-call webhook coming through. Now this one's all set up based off of the post-call webhook and everything. Just makes everything super, super easy. I'll have a more cost-efficient one, which is all webhook based and also tag based. So there's no premium actions and everything. But for this one, it's just the easy way. And so we have the post-call webhook coming in here with the new schema, right? So we're finding the contact by the contact ID. And then here's what I'm doing for that very contextually rich prompt, right? So that when I'm making these outbound calls, you'll notice I have 0 prompt, but this thing remembers everything. How is it doing that? I have just an OpenAI call here that's kind of summarizing all historical interactions with this contact and outputting a mass summarization of those historical contacts. And then I'm also accounting for some accumulated time here. So we send it in seconds and milliseconds. So I'm saving it here actually in seconds. But then what I'm doing is just converting it to minutes, which is just dividing it by 60, right? And then I'm updating a couple fields. So last call recording URL, last call transcript, last call summary. And then I have my whole history of summaries, right, that I got out of this ChatGPT thing up here. I have that being put here. So all history of contact with this contact is in one spot that I can feed back to that make AI call. So you notice it was custom 1, I think, or custom 2. I think it was custom 2. And then after I've updated all that information, I'm resetting my AI call tag. So we add call tags at the end of every AI call. I'll show you those here in a second, but this is just taking it to a workflow to reset it. And then we're saying, hey, was there an appointment booked? And we know an appointment's been booked by Voice AI because there's an AI voice appointment book tag always added on a Voice AI appointment. And when we do that, we just do a little math operation just saying, hey, the accumulated call time over the campaign of this contact times the custom value of what we're charging this sub-account per minute. And then we can send an internal notification here outlining a little bit of analytics. Hey, we got you a Voice AI appointment booked. This is how many calls it took. This is the accumulated time in minutes it took to get this person to have an appointment. And then this is your cost per appointment. And again, you can even expand this and put this into a Google Sheet. And so over time, they can start to see their average cost per booked appointment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then just resetting the tags here. Now you're asking, what does this AI look like? And what is everything associated with this look like? It's not complex. It is really not complex. This is the AI. You are a Voice AI, custom 1, 2, 3. That is the whole AI. And of course, obviously in production, I would have more prompt than this, but this is just kind of coming back to the idea. Take advantage of these. It's really good for outbound calling campaigns, especially if you're doing an intensive campaign. In fact, this is a brand new sub account. So I just have the assistant and the number, and that's literally it, right? And let's go back to one thing that you may need to see here, which is some custom fields. So I have custom fields and custom values. I have AI calling, so I have AI call counter, last call ID, transcript summary, recording URL, call, historical summary, accumulated time in seconds, minutes, and cost per book call, right? So there's all these if you want to pause and copy those. Again, this will be in a snapshot, but until I put it out. And then I just have a folder here of custom values, which is campaign assistant ID, which is my assistant ID, and the cost per minute, which is the cost per minute I'm charging this sub account here. So I can do that calculation on the cost per book call. Cool? All right. So now, if we can kind of see this in action, so this contact here, right? If we open up this AI calling, we can see I've called 7 times. Here's my last call ID in case I need to pull that. My last call transcript is there. My last call summary is there. So all this information is here, right? And then along with that, we can see our historical call summaries, right? So not just the one, but all of them. And you can see how contextually rich this is. And this is being fed, by the way, through custom 2, which is on here. So the AI is getting this every time that I'm making a call. Doesn't matter what campaign I'm doing. I mean, this contact can be in this outbound campaign, and they could sign up for Facebook ads, and this context will still come through. But you can kind of see how contextually rich this becomes. And yes, it's more expensive because it's an open AI call, but how much better of an experience is this as a lead? It being in the lead shoes, right? So an additional penny per interaction is not going to bankrupt you. What I can guarantee it'll do is book you more appointments. All right. And then you can kind of see all the analytics here. So here's an example where you can kind of see this happening. And so I'm going to have it call me, right? So I'm going to have it call me. This is the prompt, right? Let's have it call me, which I'm putting it in that drip campaign, right? Where it's going to tag me. It's going to be brought into the AI call stuff. And then we can kind of see this whole thing working. And again, this can be done with any sort of campaign. Oops, I just rejected the call. 1 second. It's too busy talking. All right, I rejected the call. Let me have it call back. I won't talk this much on this one. Just to show you that you saw the prompt. But how contextually rich is this? All right, ready?
Hi, Jordan. This is your AI assistant. How can I assist you today?
Yeah, I was just curious on what's kind of the next steps for what we have been talking about.
It seems like we've been working on scheduling appointments for you. So far, you have one booked for February 5th at 9 a.m. and another for February 7th at 10:30 a.m. If there's anything specific you'd like to discuss or plan next, let me know, and I can assist further.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's go ahead and just get one on the books, for next week. Do you have anything next week?
Let me check the availability for next week to see what options we have for you. All right. Looking at next week, I have some openings on Monday, February 10th, starting from 8 a.m. and going throughout the day. I also have similar availability on Tuesday, February 11th. Do any of these days or times work for you?
Yeah, just give me in the first available.
Got it. Let me book the first available slot for you on Monday, February 10th at 8 a.m. One moment while I confirm that for you. Your appointment is all set for Monday, February 10th at 8 a.m. Is there anything else you'd like me to help with?
Nope, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jordan. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, look. I'm going to make a couple points here. I'm going to get on my high horse. You notice I have 0 booking prompt in here, correct? And it booked perfectly. This, you don't have to overcomplex. I mean, seriously, this is the entire prompt that we just worked with for that conversation that you just heard. Of course you want to fine tune. Of course you want to make it better. This stuff is all done for you. It can book perfectly without you having to intervene on it. Where it doesn't book perfectly is where you get some confusing instructions in there. But you can see, okay, so, right, cost of appointment went up because our time and minutes went up. And this is the call summary and all here. You can kind of see all this last data, and then we'll just do a little refresh here, and you can see all of this stuff changing. So let's go down here. There we go. Look at that. We have some updates, right? Perfect. And then I'll have this one removed. So I'll put this out as a snapshot, and I'll have a couple other things that kind of go along with this, but you kind of get the idea here, is that even on an AI deployment here, maybe I add some more tools, maybe I add some more prompt here, but it doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be robust. And you don't have to build it super, super crazy. You just need to make it scalable. And the way that you make automation scalable is through functioning. And so I have all of my different functions here. I call my function when I'm ready, right? And so just to kind of give you the example of how dynamic this can be, right? So you saw my little drip campaign workflow there, right? Say I have this other one, Facebook ads, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. Say I could just come in here, all I have to do, make AI call. That's all I have to do. Call to that, and it does all the same thing. The call is going to be made, everything's going to be updated. I just hung up right there on it, but you'll kind of see everything pop up right here in a second. It's as easy as that because we've made our make AI call action kind of a function, right? So it makes it a little bit scalable. So you see that pop through right there. You see voicemail reach, not answer. All that's going to be thrown into here, and then all of it will be reset for the next call coming through. See, my tags are gone, my stuff is updated, and my call counter is up. All right, so accumulated time, everything. And so doesn't have to be complex to be very, very robust. Now, I'm going to build on this because this is still, while it's simple, it's super rudimentary. Like you can even see post call is just kind of doing a little bit of here there on data collection. We just have a reset tags, which is just taking off some of the AI calling tags and the AI calling workflow here, right? So super, super basic. And even on a drip campaign like this, where we can run multiple days of campaigns with multiple assistant IDs, right? Or we can kind of change around the prompt, even with these custom fields, to kind of target based on last interaction and date of this campaign that we're running, right? You can see how scalable it can become. So I'm going to continue to work on the snapshot. I'm going to add some chat stuff in here too, but I thought I would just make this video. I know it's 16 minutes or however long this is going to end up being, just to show you it doesn't take a lot to make this super robust. So happy Wednesday.